All right, what's going on, everybody? Repping the Challenger mask. I got it in the mail a few days ago. Super excited about that. So, yeah, if you guys are curious where I got this, it's on Etsy. So I'm really excited that I got the Challenger mask. Repping my Challenger while I'm going to grocery stores and stuff. So, how's everybody doing? Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate it. Hope everybody is doing well. Thanks for tuning in. We'll wait for some people to join in if they're free, and we can kind of talk some stuff. Really, the main reason why I'm doing this live stream was also, obviously to catch up with you guys and get some updates about what's going on with me, hear what's going on with you guys, but also I kind of want to test out the webcam I got, so it looks a lot better than my last few live streams, so I'm happy with that so far. You guys definitely get a better view of the Challenger back there. So welcome everybody that has joined. So it looks like we have about 5 people tuned in. Feel free to ask away. What questions do you guys have? I'm going to kind of keep this open. I don't really have a structure to it. Just kind of want to talk about it. Vasgato, you're always joining my live streams, my live premieres. I really appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much. You're killing it with those videos. So if anybody's not subscribed to Vasgato, you guys got to check him out. He's got a Hellcat with an amazing wrap on it, and he does some really cool videos. Really love the content you're putting out, man. So thanks for joining. Hopefully you're staying safe out there in Arizona. I'm still waiting to hear about a potential track day on your end. So we'll see what happens. But I'll try to make it down. If you do that, I'll try to make it down to Arizona. Might be hard during the winter, but if you do it next spring, I think I'm down to go down there. So what's going on, Schwazy? For 20. Oh, James, hey, what's going on, man? I saw your Hellcat on Hellcat wide body, I should say, Charger, on Sunday's cruise. We had a Mopar cruise, and man, that thing's got me thinking about the Hellcat. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not happy I saw it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gorgeous. I took some photos of it, and I've been looking at them. Oh man, that thing is beautiful. Very nice ride. I'll have a little bit of footage on it. This week I'm planning on posting that video, so stay tuned for that. And I think that I'm going to have some pretty good footage of your Hellcat wide body. So if you have an Instagram, let people know. Put it in the comments so that people can follow your Instagram if you have that for the Hellcat. Fast God, so trying to get to my level, you shouldn't, man. That level is sinking. It's you're producing really good content, man. That's for sure. James, you were seeing if I had some video. Yeah, I do have some video, and I will be posting it. If whatever I post isn't enough, or if you want some more, then just hit me up, and I'll see if I have any other footage aside from the ones that I post, and I can just send it to you. I didn't get you driving much because you were pretty far ahead of me, and so the only thing I got. No, I don't even think I got that on video, but there was one part where somebody almost rear-ended you, and I saw that because I was behind that person. So thank God that did not happen, but I didn't even get that on footage because we were just pulling out of the parking lot, and it was kind of early. Oh, Pascato, you're coming through Utah. That is awesome, man. If you're free at some point, I know it's hard right now, especially if you're coming for a wedding, but if you're free, hit me up. I'm in Salt Lake, but happy to travel kind of, in the vicinity. So let me know if you're coming through. I'm happy to meet up. Maybe we'll do a quick little video or something, do a little collaboration. That'd be awesome. It'd be nice to kind of see you in person rather than just through video. So let me know. James, he was an idiot. Yeah, that was scary. It was, the light turned yellow and you had stopped, and I guess he was probably just looking at the light, and I saw that. That was going in slow motion, and it was amazing that you pulled out because you saw it coming too. I know you did because you pulled out like several feet into the intersection to avoid getting hit. Impressive, mad quick skills there. So that was a scary moment. If I had that on YouTube, I would have probably gotten 1 million views. So I'm glad it didn't happen because I don't want your car to get hit, but also because I didn't have my camera out because that was crazy. Yeah, if I don't look in the mirror, he would have hit me. He would have, because he did swerve, but at the same time, you move forward too. So if that didn't happen, man, and your car is just 1 month old, that would have been horrible. I mean, I can't even imagine. So that just goes to show everybody out there, look into your rear view mirrors when you're at a stoplight, if you don't already. What do you think of the 2021 Super Stock? I think it's awesome. I think it's cool that Dodge is doing new things with kind of old engines in a way. If I'm not mistaken, the Super Stock doesn't have rear seats, right? It's a pretty base kind of like drag strip type of car. I don't really know how many people would buy it. I mean, if you're, you can get the rear seat delete and stuff like that on the regular Hellcats. And I just think that people buy a Hellcat not necessarily for drag strips, but I mean, obviously that's a purpose, but also so that it's practical. I just don't know how big of a market there's going to be. But I'm happy they're doing it. I've seen some other YouTubers talk about maybe making a Charger Super Stock, and I just think it's great. I mean, if there's any way to get more people into the brand, Dodge is doing it, and I don't think the other competitors are, to be honest. Mustang's getting rid of, or Ford, I should say, is getting rid of its Shelby GT350, and I get why, because the 500 exists, but honestly, I think the 350 was a good kind of entryway to get into a Shelby, and they're getting rid of it. And maybe it's because of sales. I don't know the details on it, but Dodge is something that Dodge wouldn't do that. I mean, they would keep the model kind of going, just like they have with the Hellcat. There's a Hellcat Red Eye. The only model they discontinued was the Demon, and that was a limited production model, and the values are just going up like crazy. So I think it's awesome they're doing it. Let's see, Pascato coming through Moab on I-70 to Grand Junction, coming back on Sunday. Let's plan it. DM me on IG. Yeah, I'll do that, man. Moab isn't too far away. It's like maybe 3 hours away. And next weekend, I'm trying to think if I have something going on. But yeah, I'll hit you up on Instagram. That'll be cool to even meet somewhere halfway or something and plan out our quick little video. Hey, maybe sometime on Sunday, if you want to do a full video on my car for your channel, I'd be more to go. Oh, sweet, James, that'd be great. You know what? I've actually kind of getting on the topic of content. I've been wanting to reinstate the Mopar of the Month content I've been doing that I did beginning of this year. It was kind of a new feature. And then, the pandemic hit and everything shut down. And obviously nobody really wanted to meet to do that kind of content. And I don't blame them. And I've been trying to get new people I've been reaching out, trying to get people to kind of feature their cars. And people have been kind of quiet, and understandably so. So, James, I think I should be able to make Sunday work. I'll hit you up either on Facebook or something, and let's plan something, because I'm down. That car is awesome, and I'd be cool to do a feature on it. So yeah, let me make the note actually. I'm gonna reach out to Fastgato, and I'm gonna reach out to you, James, and we can get that done, because I really love doing the Mopar of the Month, and I thought I kind of exposed the car community we have here in Utah, because it's not huge, but it was fun to see everybody kind of talk about their cars and their history of getting to where they are. So, I'm always curious, and I even mentioned this to Pascato. It'd be cool to see how you got to your Hellcat, what car you started with and where you ended up. And, if the Hellcat's your dream car, if you have something else beyond, I'm always fascinated to hear that kind of stuff and see people work hard and get their goals. So way cool. Yeah, thanks for offering, man. I appreciate that. Just shoot me a message. I'll do that. I'll do that tonight, and we'll plan something. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, not Salt City Mopars. That was the cruise, but Mopar of the Month is the feature I want to reinstate back on the channel. And that'll be cool, because that was something I planned on doing from the beginning of the year, and I thought that a lot of people liked it. There were some pretty cool cars that we were able to do. What are your thoughts on the Hellcat Durango? Find some bit. Thanks for joining, man. I'm pretty sure you joined last time, or I've definitely seen you comment on the video, so thank you for doing that. What are my thoughts? I love it. As a matter of fact, me and I think James were talking about this on the cruise on Sunday, was I'm sad that they're only releasing it for 1 year, even though I think that's a lie. They're probably going to release it again next year, because there's going to be so much demand. I think it's an amazing thing that they're doing. I mean, to give you some background, what kind of led me into the Challenger was when in 2015 the Hellcat came out. I wasn't too much into Challengers or Chargers before. Like I thought they were cool cars. I loved them in Fast and the Furious, but they were never like I have to have that car. And then when the Hellcat came out, I was like, it's amazing that you can have 700 horsepower in, you know, a car that's under 100,000. And so that got me a lot into the brand, and that got me kind of convinced to get a Scat Pack, and then maybe in the future, you know, get a Hellcat. And I think they're doing the same thing for, you know, SUV models, in the sense that the Durango is a 3-row, you know, family car or SUV, and they're putting this type of engine into it. I think people who, you know, traditionally drove Tahoes or Suburbans or Explorers will start looking at, or Expeditions will start looking at this car and be like, well, maybe I should go for a Dodge, and maybe they'll get a Grand Wagoneer or whatever next year. And I think it's awesome, and I love what they did with the interior. That was kind of my one complaint with the Durango and even the Grand Cherokees. I think the interior is a little bit dated since it's like 10, 15 years old. And I love the new Durango interior in the Hellcat. I hope that they carry that over into the future years, even if they don't carry over the engine, because that interior is like, that's, you know, 2020 and beyond, and the old one was kind of outdated. Yeah, James, the interior is going to be great. Exactly. I mean, I love it. I think it looks awesome. And I hope they bring that into the Chargers as well, and the Challengers kind of either. I love the current body style, so if they update the interior, they can just do what they did in the Durango, because I think that kind of brings it into the new century. Just wanted to say what's up. I enjoy your videos, bro. Scotty James, thank you, man. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you joining and commenting, and thanks for watching the videos. I appreciate it. I'm trying to, you know, put out some cool content out there. There's a lot of content on YouTube, so hopefully I'm providing what you guys want. And if not, let me know what videos you guys like to see. Oh, James, yeah, and great towing. That's true. The Hellcat, you know, Durango is, you can tow a boat, and you have over 700 horsepower to have fun. I mean, it's just amazing. Think about even 5 years ago, you know, 700 horsepower even 5 years ago was kind of insane, aside from like Lamborghinis and stuff. And now, like 5 years later, we have SUVs with 700 horsepower. It's just crazy. I mean, but I love it. And at the same time, you're not sacrificing much in gas mileage. I mean, you're not like, you know, 10 miles to the gallon. You can still get low 20s on the highway and tow a boat. And I mean, it's fantastic. Honestly, I've really liked, and I've looked into Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawks, because I think it's a cool concept. In fact, the one thing I really loved about the Lamborghini Urus review that I did a little over a month ago, or about 2 months ago, was that it's just like, it's awesome to have a Lambo and yet not have to worry about, like, you know, driving over a curb or something, or scraping your splitter or something when you're pulling out of a parking lot. And it's just nice to have that practicality. And I think that's what the Jeep Grand Cherokee and the Dodge Durango Hellcats offer, is that they just offer that extra practicality that you can just drive it every single day and still have a hell of a bunch of fun when you're, you know, pedal to the floor. Let's see. I'm not killing the tires on my Scat Pack. I'm not liking, sorry, not killing. I'm not liking the tires on my Scat Pack. What do you suggest? So the ones I have on mine are Toyo Proxys. I can give you the exact info. They're ST2s or something, or ST3s. I haven't replaced them since I got the car over 15,000 miles ago. They've been, and there's still plenty of tread on them. I haven't done any burnouts or anything, so I haven't killed them. But I mean, I've definitely done some hard pulls and some, you know, 0 to 60s, and they still are pretty good. I can tell that they're definitely a little bit looser in the back, but mine are 315s. So depending on Joey, depending on what kind of width you have in the back, if you're talking about a specific brand, I don't have much experience with that because my Toyos have been good. So I'd recommend them if you like them. Otherwise, if you're talking about width, I would say go at least 275, if not wider. Like I said, mine are 315s, and I think there's a little bit of rubbing on them because they're not recommended. But you know, every time I've gotten the rotation or anything done, they haven't mentioned anything about it. But 315s are a little bit wide, and sometimes because of that, you have, and somebody on YouTube commented, you have a little bit more. I think the technical term is camber, when the wheels are kind of in a little bit more. And for that reason, because it's a wider tire and they're in a little bit more, the outside edges may not get as much traction. So even though you have a 315, you may not actually be putting 315 millimeters down on the ground. And so, you know, I think if you're on the stock 245s, you got to go at least 275. And my Toyos have been good, but you can, you know, look up on forums to see if people recommend anything else. You may want to go for like a semi-drag radial setup, because that will probably offer the best amount of traction, but it may not be the most usable for day-to-day driving. Yeah, and thank you, Scotty James. Yep, again, appreciate you tuning in. And Joe, thank you again for asking the question. I think that's a valid question. In fact, I've been talking about this for a while. I've been wanting to replace my wheels, not necessarily my tires yet, because they're still pretty decent. But I've been meaning to replace my wheels, and I've been doing the search myself, trying to figure out what's the best option. I want to, I have 315s on my stock wheels, which I think are 9-inch width. And, it's recommended that you go at least a 10 or 11 inch if you're going to have 315 wide tires on them. So I've been searching some websites trying to find some wider wheels so that I can mount these kind of wide tires on them. And we'll see what happens. I kind of don't want to upgrade my wheels and tires just because these tires have pretty good tread on them. So I want to find something in the same diameter, just a little bit wider so that fits a little bit better. And yeah, Joe, it depends on how you're driving your car. That's for sure. Like James said, you got 305 Pirellis all season and you hate them. Oh, really? 305, that's pretty wide. I wonder if it's just the Pirellis or, I wish I had more background on it in the sense that if I had different tires to try out on this car and say, hey, these are a lot better. But I haven't really had that experience. If you look at my 0 to 60 test, it's not that great and it's pretty embarrassing. And that could be because my tires aren't that great as compared to some other people. If you're looking for best 0 to 60, you're going to want to go drag radials. I guess it depends on what do you hate most about the tires. It just there's no traction, or if it's something different. Maybe they're uncomfortable. So just let me know. So James, you have the 305 Pirellis and on your Hellcat. So yeah, I guess Joe, let us know what your application is, kind of what you want to use it for, and then maybe James has some more information on that and can help you out with what tire choice you should pick. What are your guys' thoughts on the stuff we discussed? What are your thoughts on the Hellcat Durango? I mean, for the most part, I think people love it, but is there somebody out there that hates it? I want to see what people think, about that. I think it's awesome that they're adding wide bodies to everything too. I mean, to be completely honest, I think the wide body looks a little bit like rough in the sense that you can obviously tell the clear. Like when you think about German cars doing a wide body, everything's kind of smooth and into the panels and everything looks wider naturally. Whereas, it's typical American muscle car that you just add, giant fenders, you reinforce the suspension and everything, but it looks kind of weird looking when I first saw the wide body come out like 2-3 years ago. I was like, that's really weird looking. But then you see it in person, and I mean, it's awesome, and I think it'd be awesome to have one. But I don't know, like it's. What are your guys' thoughts on wide bodying everything? When my Pirelli AS tires wear out, I'll be on Michelin Pilot Sport all seasons. Okay. Yeah, and again, if you're looking for something that lasts a little bit longer, these Toyos have lasted me a really long time. So, it depends on your application. Joe, if you're looking for something that lasts a little bit longer, then maybe do that. If you're looking for something that has a little bit better traction, maybe the Michelin Pilot Sports. I have heard those are pretty good. Zach, you mentioned you love the wide bodies. Yep, I do too. In fact, it's really cool seeing, like when I saw James's wide body Charger, that was really cool because and James, you told me that was the first wide body Charger Hellcat here in Utah. I haven't seen a single one elsewhere, and I've been searching on the websites, and there's like one for sale in Colorado, I think it's Grand Junction, Colorado, and that's pretty much it. There's no other for sale in Utah, so it's cool to see those around because they've only been out for a little bit of time. So the Challengers have had the wide body a little bit longer, but you still don't really find very many here, and so it's cool to see it. Scotty James, I love my wide body Scat. I think the wide bodies are tough looking. Yeah, they are. They definitely look more menacing than this one. I mean, just driving down the road, when that thing is even just an extra 3 inches wider, you definitely want to move over a lot quicker. It's cool. And what's nice is, this body style has been around for a lot longer. The wide body, there's only been like 2 years, and it's, this one, you can get this body style on an SXT. You can't get the wide body on the SXT. So when you see one, it's a little bit more rare. And I think in terms of resale value, the wide body is going to be a little bit better in a few years. So, even though it's a $6,000 option, it's probably going to pay off, and you're definitely going to be one of the early ones to have one, or one of the few. I can't wait to see a Durango Hellcat, and the only one here in Utah so far. Yeah, James, you gotta milk that, man, because it's really amazing, and it's cool that I was able to see that at the cruise the other day. So I'm definitely curious to film your car and get your experiences on it, and kind of your thoughts as to why you chose the wide body Hellcat and kind of your experience with it. I got the new Hellraisin color, and I really like. Oh, Scotty, you're killing me, man, because I love that color. If I was to change my car, Destroyer Gray is still my #1 color. I always liked the Plum Crazy Purple, even though they don't make it anymore. They'll probably bring it back like next year because they always do that. But Plum Crazy Purple, Destroyer Gray, and then like out of the existing colors that they have, I love Hellraisin and I love Cinnamon Stick. I think those two are pretty unique and different. And man, Hellraisin is just gorgeous. I've never really seen one in person here in Utah. They're usually just on websites, and I mean, it just doesn't do it justice, I'm sure. I can't imagine seeing one in person with that kind of purple color just shining, man. I don't know. I love flashy colors on these types of cars. You know, I'm not a huge fan of black or white on these vehicles, and so I like it when it's a little bit different, because it's it's a weird looking car to begin with. It looks like it's out of the 1970s or 60s, so you might as well have kind of a funky color. Sublime, that's actually, Sublime Green is good. You know, Hellraisin, I've seen Sublime before though, and I think Hellraisin is a little bit more unique. I feel like they made Sublime for a lot more, you know, they made it like 2015, and then I don't know when they stopped it, but it's kind of a more common color. So yeah, I think Hellraisin's amazing. And on the wide body, especially, like when you compare the wide body to the regular in that Hellraisin color, man, I'm jealous. You want to trade? If you want to trade, let me know, because I love it. Yeah, and Hellcat Durango in the winter, that would be amazing, Scotty. That's another advantage of, you know, having either the Trackhawk or the, are they calling it the Hellcat Durango, or is there a specific name to it? I think they're calling it the Hellcat Durango. But that's another advantage, is you can use it all year round. Like, you can't really use this car here in Utah when it snows. I mean, it's impossible to drive this thing. I drove it once from a car show at the Auto Expo we had here in like January, and it snowed a little bit, and you know, it drove okay, but on a day-to-day basis, I'm not going to drive it. Like, that's why sometimes in the wintertime my video volume goes down, because there's nothing for me to film. And that's the advantage of having a car like a Durango or a Jeep. It's just, you can use it year round and have fun with it and drag race year round. It's amazing. Nice to be here. I have to go. Shoot me a message. James, thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you watching. I'll shoot you a message and we can set up a time to film. So hopefully people will see that car in the near future. Scotty, James, I have a Santa Fe for my winter car. Yep. That's why I got the RAV4 as my kind of winter daily driver type of vehicle. Oh, speaking of, you know, the RAV4, so, you know, if you guys watched the video from a few months ago, I did reserve a new Ford Bronco. So the upcoming is a 2021 or 2022 Ford Bronco. I do have an update on that, even though there's not much been going on. I mean, they're constantly making adjustments to their powertrains and their offerings and trims and stuff, but that reservation's still out there. I've reserved it with a local dealership here, and the email that they sent last week makes it sound that sometime in the next coming weeks, sometime in October, they're going to release the configurator for the Bronco. So I'm going to be able to configure the exact trim and spec, and I'm hoping the pricing will be available at that point, so I know, you know, what trim and spec is what price. I don't know about the details on that, but I think it's going to be a more accurate configurator than their current, you know, reservation. Because I reserved, I think it was the Big Bend package, if I'm not mistaken. I'm spacing here, but that one, you know, had certain trim levels and stuff, and like heated seats. And I think that they're going to be a little bit more detailed with this configurator. But once the configurator is up, they said sometime in December to January, you're actually going to go into the dealership and you can bring your, you know, online configurator with you. And then you can actually order the car at the dealership and, you know, essentially pay for it at that point. And then hopefully delivery starting in spring. I'm thinking, because of all the delays in production, I'm thinking probably I won't get a Bronco until this time next year. But that's still the goal, pending everything good, looks good with the price. Hopefully they don't jack up the price more than what I'm estimating it to be at. If they do, I may have to pass. But I think I'll be within my estimates, and then hopefully that will replace the RAV4 because the RAV4 lease ends next year, actually around this time next year. I'm probably just going to sell it rather than give it back to them. I'm just going to sell the car and then probably replace it with the Bronco because I think that will be good for the channel. I'm excited to have it because I've always wanted kind of an off-road vehicle. You know, my fiance had a Jeep Wrangler before. It was totaled, unfortunately, but it was fun taking that car out off-roading and stuff. So I'm excited to have this Bronco because it'd be more of an off-roader than this car for sure. And I think it'd complement the garage with having a Bronco and a Challenger. Scotty James RAV4 is nice too. Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, I've made some videos about it in the past. It's not, I don't know, it's not amazing. Like I get why they sell like hotcakes because they're, you know, super reliable, and it's so much easier to drive that RAV. I'm pointing here because it's like right over here on the other side of the garage than it is this thing. Like when I drive this thing, I'm very careful. With the RAV, I'm just like whatever, you know, everything gets out of my way in the sense that there's no worry about like, you know, curbs or you know, parking lots or anything like I worry with this car. And so in that sense, I love it because I never have to worry driving it. But there are some features I wish I had. One of them being like heated seats and like a remote start, or you know, just something that's, you know, somebody on, I think, Instagram pointing it out well. When you're daily driving that, you know, your daily driver car, and somebody with a nice car pulls up next to you, there's like that feeling that you wish you were in your nice car, so you can like give them a head nod or something. Like when a Challenger, Hellcat, or Scat drives by, and I'm in my RAV, I feel like inadequate. It's kind of funny. I'm sure you feel that same way with the Santa Fe. You're like, you know, my other car is a Challenger Scat Pack wide body, but unfortunately, that's not how it works. So that's kind of just one thing that, you know, it's great as a daily driver, but it's not a huge kind of presence when you pull into a parking lot. The New York, the top of the line is not available. I'm sorry, I think I'm missing something there, Joe. The New York, the top of the. Oh, is that the Bronco? Is that the top of the line? Maybe. I'm not sure at all. Let me know if that's what you're referencing, because I don't remember all the trims on the Bronco. But I just remember kind of the one I got had those features that I wish I had in my RAV. And Scotty, yeah, it's a long wait. I mean, they say spring of next year is when they're going to start deliveries. I don't know. I don't believe it. I'm not going to count on that. I'm thinking the earliest will be sometime in the summer, especially because Utah always gets the good stuff last. I feel like, you know, it's a smaller state. There's not as much popularity, even though we have some of the best off-road trails in the country, I'd say, because Moab has some amazing, I mean, off-road competitions go on there all the time. So, you know, I wouldn't be super surprised if it came in early, but I don't think that, I just don't think that's going to happen. They delivered my Scat less than 3 weeks after I ordered it. Wow. When did you order it, out of curiosity? Because, you know, I kind of touched on this in the last video I made, where prices are just skyrocketing for used cars, mainly because new cars are just impossible to get. So I'm curious, was that sometime this year? In which case, man, that is lucky because, yeah, the production is definitely delayed. I still can't find like any new Hellcats here in Utah at dealerships. It's kind of crazy. Bronco and Chally will be cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Well, you know, knock on wood, hopefully it goes according to plan. That's kind of my goal, though. I love the RAV. It's just, I think it'll be better for the channel to have the Bronco. They told me 6 to 8 weeks on my Scat. Oh wow. Okay, so you got it in. That's what when I've reached out to dealerships, they said that it's about 2 months to get a car that you order, at least right now. But yeah, 3 weeks, that's really quick. I mean, think about, unless they had it already, you know, manufactured exactly how you want it, but that's really quick to think about going from start to finish and getting it to the dealership. That's really fast. And Joe, yes. Okay, so you are talking about the Bronco trims. Yeah, I'm not as familiar about it, but top of the line is not available. So I'm guessing that they're going to wait until they release the fully equipped one. I'm definitely not going to get the fully equipped one. I just, you know, I have my fun car, which is this one. The Bronco would be still a daily driver, but I definitely want to have some, you know, little creature comforts so that I can enjoy it when I'm, you know, driving it, and then at the same time I can take it off-roading and make more videos about it in the wintertime when this car is just in the garage. Delivered on August 18th. Wow. So, you know, you got it. Yeah, so 3 weeks before that, I got every option except the technology pack. Wow, yeah, that's really quick. I wonder if anybody else has ordered their car. Let me know below or in the comments if it's been quicker than what they said, because I heard the same thing. It was like 6 to 8 weeks, probably about 2 months, until you get your car. And so that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to move forward with it, because you never know what's going to happen in the future in terms of rebates and offers. And so that's really cool. My salesman said they built in 7 days. Wow. And Scotty, what state are you in? Out of curiosity, maybe I have to go to your dealership, because they seem like they got their stuff in check. They know what they're doing. Yeah, that's what's been going on with the Bronco. Hopefully that one will be in about a year. And then for now, the Challenger's still here on the channel. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Okay, interesting. Glenbrook Dodge. Okay, that's kind of far from me, but maybe it's worth it if I'm able to get the car a couple weeks sooner and take advantage of certain rebates that they have, that they change every single month. So that's good to know. That's really quick. Or maybe it was, like you said, just luck that car was built and everything. Glenbrook, the best buying experience. Sounds like it, man. If you're able to get it that quick, I mean, every dealership I reach out to, they give you the runaround. They start with a super high price, and then you have to negotiate and fight to get the price that you want. It's such a pain in the butt. I mean, I get why they do it. Everybody wants to make more money, but it's like when somebody knows what the prices are, it's just you're ripping people off, and it's sad. But there are some dealerships out there and some salesmen that are straight to the point, and they're not BSing, and they, when they have the right price, they stick to it. They're not going to play the games of, oh yeah, I'm going to go talk to my manager and come back, and then they quote you a totally different number. Some salesmen, they're just like, this is the price, this is the best I can do, like take it or leave it. And I honestly respect that more than people who keep running back and forth asking, managers for their prices. How's everybody else holding up? I mean, have your states kind of opened up? Or you guys still closed down? How's everybody holding up with everything crazy going on nowadays? Got the power dollars and a supplier discount, work commission on VF Goodrich factory here. Oh, awesome. That is sweet. So maybe that explains why you want the Michelin Pilot Sports, right? You work for them, so you might as well have them. We're mostly open in Indiana. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I'm not sure there's too many. There were as many cases, right, in Indiana. I'm not sure. I didn't follow that part of the U.S., but obviously I know the East and the West, the New York, California, Texas, the big states were all hit really hard. So glad you're open. I mean, it's always nice to be able to go in and actually work, and not have to stay home or think. Thankfully unemployment's there for people who are off of work, but not as bad as some places. Yep. Here in Utah, the cases have been growing. So kind of uncertain. I mean, thankfully we haven't had to close down again, but yeah, it's crazy time that we're living in. So hopefully you guys are all okay out there. I was fortunate to keep my job. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been telling people myself, and it's like when days are bad, you're like, hey, I'm fortunate enough to have a job. I mean, it's pretty nice to be able to go to work and not have to worry about that. So my heart goes out to those that have lost their jobs. That's definitely difficult. I can't imagine. It's hard to be in that situation. So, but hopefully you guys have been enjoying the content coming out on the channel. I've been trying to produce a little bit more often. I've been doing an upload probably once a week. So there will be another video this week. It's going to be my cruise that I went on that I talked about a little bit earlier. It's a Mopar car cruise, so hopefully you guys get some cool scenic shots. I mean, the colors out there are just gorgeous. In the fall, there's just these beautiful colors here in Utah. You get red, yellows, and hopefully the camera caught it correctly, because it's a beautiful ride, and it was such a fun time to get out there and just talk with fellow Mopar people. It's hard because we haven't had many cruises over the last 6 months for obvious reasons. And it's always cool to get out there. And, James was one of the guys out there that is like, hey, I watch your YouTube channel. And so that's how we connected. And, there's Bill out there and Joey, and I connected with everybody. So it's cool to see people who are subscribing to your channel and watching your videos. And, that would be probably a long-term goal in the future, was to meet a lot of you guys out there that are subscribed in different states, go out to Indiana and elsewhere, and it'd be cool to meet people in those types of events, or if I'm going somewhere and I shoot it out on social media, and you guys can meet me there if you want. So probably long-term future, after everything settles down, that would be a cool goal to have, if the channel can support that. So that's that's most of what I got going on. If you guys have anything else you want me to chat about, I'm happy to, but just wanted to give you guys kind of an update on what's been happening and plans for the channel, and that's pretty much it. So feel free to ask away if you have any last minute questions. Probably going to be a little bit of a shorter live stream than the last few, but that's fine by me. I like these live streams because they're just, people get to ask me whatever they want. So, hey, Scotty, thank you for chatting with me as well. Thanks for keeping the conversation going. I appreciate that, man. And again, I'm jealous of your hell raising color. If you have an Instagram, I'm not sure if we're following, but if you do, send me a photo of it because I want to see it. So have a good night, brother. Thanks for tuning in. And I have about 4 people still left. I don't know if that includes Scotty, but if you guys have any last minute comments, let me know. Challenger's still chugging along. It's getting colder, so I imagine the videos are probably going to be more indoors in the garage because it's just going to be hard to film out there. And it's getting darker too, so it's getting harder to film later in the days. In the wintertime, it gets dark at like 5:30. So Scotty James on Facebook, hit me up. Sweet, man, we'll do. I'll hit you up and we'll chat, and you'll send me a photo of your car. Maybe I'll shoot it up on the Instagram. So well, thank you all who tuned in. If you guys have any other questions, definitely let me know. And thank you all. I almost slid out of my chair there. Thank you all that have subscribed and continue to watch the videos. I see you guys in the comments. So thank you all. Take care. Stay safe. And I'll catch you guys at the next video. And let me know when you want to chat on the next live stream. So take care. Have a wonderful day. And stay schwazy, my friends. How is that? Wait. Giovanni asked, how is that river still running? Rover. Oh, okay. I was like, river. Rover, yes. Giovanni, yes, the Rover's still going good. So the fiance took it in. There was like a factory recall or something on I don't want to mistake it, but I think it was like the AC fan or something. It was blowing really loud. And so they did a software update, though. It wasn't a mechanical issue. It was a software update where they fixed that, and now it sounds a little bit quieter. I mean, it was kind of loud when you're, cranking the AC super high. But so far, I mean, it hasn't been driven that much, so it's got about 11,500 miles. So definitely not a high mileage car whatsoever. But Rover's still great. I mean, I love taking it because it's a fancy car. So if we go out to like a nice dinner, I either take the Challenger, obviously, or we take the Rover because it's cool looking and it's got leather seats and everything. So it's been good, but yeah, just that one thing with the software update. Other than that, no real issues with the Rover. Knock on wood. I'm sure my fiance would not want any of that, but yeah, I still really like this car. And to be honest, the way it handles is amazing. Like, it handles better than probably 90% of the SUVs out there, and yet nobody talks about it. It's just the way it's built, the size and everything. I mean, on turns, I'm not going to lie. I know this sounds funny. It handles better than the Challenger. It's a very tight kind of car. It's hard to explain, but the steering is very precise. And on this one, everybody knows the Challenger's a boat. It's kind of hard to handle it on super high speeds, but this one is actually really good. So I like the Evoque. I'm a big fan of it, and I'd recommend it for anybody. Reliability, that's a different story. It's a Land Rover or Range Rover. They're not known for their reliability, but they got some. I get why people buy them. So I love my 06 DTS. Wait, I don't think I'm familiar. What is the DTS? Let me know what. I'm actually going to Google it. I sound like an idiot. Oh, the Cadillac. Gotcha. 06 Cadillac DTS. Gotcha. I don't know too much about those ones. I mean, they look like they're amazingly comfortable to drive. Like, it's a king bed on wheels is what it looks like. I mean, that thing looks amazing. And caddies know what they're doing. I mean, especially back then. Like, I think from the later 2000s, like 2010 until probably last year, the caddies kind of they were trying to update some stuff, and I think that they just failed to kind of keep up with a lot of the German competitors. But back in the early 2000s, they had some really cool cars, and obviously the ones from the 50s and 60s, I mean, nothing drives like a Cadillac, right? I think those cars are awesome. Actually, when I was back in the day when I had my Mercedes, I was looking at the Cadillac ATS, and they don't even make that one anymore. But that was kind of the competitor to the C-Class, and I really did not like that car. I don't know if anybody has experience with it, but I just didn't like. I mean, it almost drove like a truck in a way, and the back seats were super small, and they had this giant like hump from the seat cushion, and I did not like it. But those older Cadillacs, like the DTS, I googled the photo of it. That thing is definitely one that you can go camping in and just lay in the back seats, right? I mean, it's super comfy. So you got to have a daily driver. It's if you can afford it, having a daily driver is really nice. Cadillac, it's longer than my sister's minivan, but it's still nice to drive. Smooth ride, amazing speakers and stuff in the trunk that can rattle. Stuff in the speakers, the stuff in the trunk can rattle if it's loud enough. Yeah, I mean, they're just great cars. Like especially as a daily driver. I don't know what car you have. Is that like your main driver? Is that your main car or not? I'm not sure. The thumbnail looks like you have. I don't know. Is that a Corvette or something or a Challenger? But as a daily driver, yeah, that DTS would be amazing. The Malibu is that Malibu is my friend's car. Oh, that's a Malibu. Okay, I am sucking here about figuring this stuff out. But so is your main car then the Cadillac? Is that your primary driver? But yeah, that thing is awesome. So yes, sweet. Yeah, I mean that thing is, and like I said, a Cadillac's a Cadillac. Everybody knows what that is, and it's the Mercedes of the U.S., right? Those things are great, fantastic built cars. So yeah, thanks for putting in your input, man. I appreciate that. Let me know if anybody else. I was actually just going to finish off the video, but then you asked about the Rover, so you got me talking. So if anybody has any other questions, if not, we'll probably call it a night. That way you guys can enjoy. I'll probably go do some editing, do some action shots of that cruise we went on. But let me know. I'll hang on for like a minute or two if anybody else has a question about the channel or whatever. Just have a comment. Let me know. Otherwise, we'll probably call it a night. Giovanni, thanks, man. You have to go get ready for tomorrow. Have a good night, brother. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's probably close to 10 o'clock over on the East Coast. Will you be live tomorrow? I probably won't. I do these live streams every couple months or so. I'm going to try to do them more often. Best way to reach me is either sometimes the comments they get lost. Best way is probably Instagram if you have it. Otherwise, shoot me a comment or something in the YouTube channel. And stay tuned. I'll try to make these live streams a little bit more common. I just don't have that much to talk. I'm not that interesting to talk about stuff every day, if you haven't noticed. But otherwise, I try to do it once or twice, or once a month, or once every 2 months. So, hey, if I'm ever on again, I'll let you know. Actually, a way to really, if you don't have an Instagram but you have a YouTube, the best way to really contact me is, there's on my page, there's like a community section, and I'm not sure if as a viewer how you guys see it. As a admin of the channel, there's a community section where I post. I posted about this live stream, and so that's where you can find out when a live stream is happening. I post some surveys and polls on there, so you guys can check that out. So that's a good way. Not very many people see it, and so if you guys are commenting on there, I'm definitely going to see it because there's like 3 or 4 people that ever comment on those posts. So if you have any questions specifically and you want to reach me and you don't have an Instagram, that's the best way to do it. So Scotty James Knight, bro, thanks again for all your chatter today. I appreciate that. That's cool that you kept the conversation going, and I love that you got a Scat Pack. I'm on a phone. I don't have a computer, so I can't use the community thing. Oh, gotcha. I don't know if the phone should have. I think you can, because using the YouTube app, I've seen people's posts, and so I've been able to comment on them. So you may just have to go to my channel specifically, and there might be a way to swipe through it on the phone if you have the YouTube app. So try that out if that works. I think I'll make an Instagram. Never had one before. Scotty James. Yeah, man. I mean, there's a huge Challenger Charger community on Instagram, and I think you should do it. Especially if you have a car like that, you just might as well. You know, even if it doesn't go anywhere, it's just cool to almost have like a portfolio or a notebook of photos of your car. So, yeah, Giovanni, you know, try to find it on there. I'm pretty sure it's on the app. So the community function, and you guys can interact with me on there if I post any polls or questions. And that's how I actually brought up today's live stream. Was like I did a poll to see what day works best for everybody, and it seemed like Tuesday was the majority winner. So that's why I picked today. But definitely find me on there if you want to keep in touch, and I'll try to do another live stream probably about a month from now, maybe before Thanksgiving or something. So. Yeah, the reason I say Instagram's the best way to reach me is because I don't understand Twitter. Like I don't know. To me, it seems like just for political candidates that the Twitter still exists. I don't get TikTok, even though, you know, I'd like to say I'm good with technology. I don't understand TikTok. I have one. If you guys want to follow it, it's Shwazy, same as the YouTube. But I just don't understand TikTok. I don't get videos for it. There's like 5 videos that I've ever posted, and Facebook is also kind of like I use it, but I don't really. You know, my Instagram is where I post photos of the car because I like taking photos of it, and I think Instagram is the best way to share pics. And at the same time, it's a good way to message people too. So I've had a lot of people reach out, asking me questions about videos I've made, and just, you know, get my thoughts on it, and I appreciate that. So that's why I like Instagram. It's not that I'm, you know, I get paid because of Instagram. Are you Shwazy on Instagram? Yep, Shwazy, and then you add the underscore, just like the YouTube name. And you'll see the thumbnail should be the exact same photo as the thumbnail, or I should say the profile pic of the YouTube channel. So you should be able to find it. Yeah, I get banned from Twitter anytime I make an account. Oh, after 2 minutes, it bans the new account I made. Giovanni, they just don't want you to be on Twitter. They just know you're trouble, man. They I don't know what it is. You know, I had a Twitter years ago, and I don't know. I just for car purposes, I just don't know what I post on there. I mean, I don't, maybe a link to the video, but I just don't get it. I think if you're a politician, you got to have Twitter. I mean, that's the only thing that gets people interested and gets the news media on you. But Scotty James got it. Cool. Yeah, and Instagram's really easy. I mean, if you have a Facebook already, it just links to your Facebook, and you can even post photos simultaneously on Facebook and Instagram. So I like it. You know, gets people interested in your car, and that way you can always share some photos. So a lot of times what I do is, you know, I go on to, rather than Googling a hell raising Challenger, I'll just go into Instagram and put hashtag hell raising. And for the most part, I'll pull up cool photos of viewers that have, or of users that have posted photos of their car. And usually they're better than the quality photos I even get on Google because they're just more detailed and stuff. So yeah, those are my 2 cents on it. But yeah, thank you again, everybody who's tuned in. It's always a blast talking with you guys. You're a good YouTuber. Anyone else I've seen on YouTube? Hey, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you, Giovanni. I try to, man. I mean, there's so much negativity in the world, and I'll be honest. I mean, I was thinking about making this video in the future in regards to starting a YouTube channel. It's not easy. I mean, you got to have a thick skin, and you know, people are always putting you down, no matter what you do. And I never claim that I'm a pro at anything. I mean, you know, I'm an idiot. I'll be the first to admit that. You know, so I experiment, I make videos on it, and sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not. And I think it's, you know, toxicity is just, there's too much of it anyways in our day-to-day lives. There's no reason that we should kind of carry that out onto social media. And the crappy part about YouTube is, you know, everybody hides behind an avatar, and so they can say whatever they want, but they would never say to a person, you know, face to face. And so, you know, it's hard out there. So I try to call out the people who are just being, you know, plain jerks on YouTube, and I insult them back. I'm not gonna lie. I communicate the same way, but for people who are genuinely curious, you know, I'm always happy to. If I see the comment, I'll definitely respond and try to help out with my experience. Like I said, I'm not a pro, but if I've done it on the YouTube video, then I'll definitely communicate what my thoughts are. Doesn't mean that's right. You know, everybody's got their own opinions and ways of doing it, but I'm always happy to do it. So I appreciate you calling me out on that and saying, you know, that you enjoy my videos and everything. I have to go to sleep now. Hey, man, don't feel bad. Just get out of here. Go get some rest. And thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, man. he is a Who is Louis the 13th? I have seen him. Yeah, it's a good channel too. He has a Charger Scat Pack. See you later, Giovanni. Take it easy, man. Yeah, I have seen some of his videos pop up, and I think he's been growing pretty quick. He has a Charger Scat Pack wide body. I like the way he films. Like the first-person shots that he does are pretty cool, and I like how he does it. I'm not sure if he uses a GoPro or something different, but I do like his channel. I've seen some of his videos, and he does some good work. And you know, he's consistent. He constantly uploads, and that's kind of one of the biggest things about having a channel is you gotta keep people entertained. So. Yeah, he's a good channel. You know, Racer X, I've gone to some of his live streams. I really like the guy. He's you know, he's always posting cool content, and he posted a really good video that's probably one of my favorites I've seen on YouTube, comparing the Challenger Scat Pack 0 to 60 to a Charger Hellcat, and his Hellcat has like 900 horsepower, and he just did a comparison in terms of changing tires out. He tried 3 different tires. And he did a 0 to 60 test, and you know, with good tires, I think he got just as good of time, or right next to the Hellcat with the Scat Pack 0 to 60. So you know, it just goes to show that tires and traction are everything when it comes to acceleration. Racer X is awesome too. You guys are probably my top 3 Mopar. Hey man, I really appreciate that. To be in that kind of same realm as Racer X, he's a much bigger YouTuber, and you know, I really appreciate that. I'm glad. I mean, you know, when I started the channel, I wasn't Mopar focused specifically, but I always liked the Challenger, and it's cool to be on that kind of side. Yeah, the Hellcat is just too much power on the street. I know, man, and I'll be honest. I mean, I've kind of mentioned in the video, I have been looking at Hellcats. It's kind of just in the back of my mind. I'm always looking at deals and what type of colors are out there, and I keep debating. I mean, I've always wanted a Hellcat. That was kind of what got me into the brand, like I mentioned earlier. But is it worth the price when, you know, my 0 to 60 is probably going to be the same? I don't really do any drag racing or any racing at all because there's not very many tracks here. And I just, not going to lie, I love the look of my Scat Pack. And so it's just an internal debate that I always battle with is, do I get a Hellcat and bring some more kind of new cool content to you guys? Or do I keep what I have right now and continue to make content off of that? So your bids were very informative when I started looking to buy a new Challenger. Sweet. And that's exactly why I make these videos. Is I've owned the car, you know, now 2.5 years, but you know, throughout the entire course of ownership, I want to make videos about what I like, what I don't like, and kind of my thoughts on it. And this has been, I'm not gonna lie, this makes my YouTube easy in the sense that this is a fantastic car. Like, there's really not much to complain about. And yeah, there are definitely weaknesses to it, but the strengths outweigh the weaknesses so much that this makes it easy to just say, yeah, you should go buy it, because I don't think I know very many people who have bought the car and regret it, unless they just didn't do their research and maybe they wanted 4 doors and they ended up getting the 2-door. Well, then yeah, obviously you're not going to like it. But you know, for the most part, people who know what they're getting into, they're going to love the car. The wide body handles better too. LOL. Yeah, I know, and you know, I've been looking at Hellcat wide bodies too to consider that. And not only do they not really exist here, at least at the current time period, it's that they're also pretty expensive. So I think a Hellcat wide body would be really cool. In fact, I've looked at one in the Hell Raisin color, Scotty, in the Hell Raisin, and I don't know, wide body Scat versus Hellcat wide body. I mean, wide body Scat versus wide body handles better than, yeah, and definitely. I mean, in general, even the wide body Scat, I think it handles as well. You know, I've looked at, I thought about maybe doing a wide body Scat Pack, but at the same time, if I am changing my car, I'd like to go for a little bit more horsepower, seeing as how I would, you know, I've already had the 485, and the wide body would handle better, but you know, acceleration probably be very similar, and day-to-day driving would be similar. So maybe I just make the jump for the Hellcat. Yeah, man, it would be awesome, but I need an extra loan for the gas. Yeah, and that's true. I mean, insurance, you know, that's not going to be cheaper than this car. The gas, obviously, you're burning more gas, especially if you're taking it to more drag strips, which I probably would be doing. I'd probably travel somewhere either into Vegas, or I think there's some drag strips in Colorado that I would probably go to and try to do. But obviously, the gas and all those expenses add up. I think 600 horsepower would be a sweet spot for our car, for our Scats. I agree, and I think honestly, with the displacement that they have at 6.4 liters, there shouldn't be a problem to get 600 horsepower. I think they engineer them to be kind of a little bit weaker. I mean, considering that a 5.0 Mustang can get almost the same amount of horsepower and you have 6.4 liters, you know, you're a 1.4 liter larger. You should be able to get more power out of it. But I know the people who have tried, they have to upgrade a lot more stuff. So it's almost cheaper just to upgrade to a Hellcat and make some changes there than to upgrade these Scat packs. It's just, you know, that's kind of the world we live in. But yeah, I mean, with the 485, it's still super fun. That's the hard part with justifying a Hellcat is, yeah, it's, you know, a third more horsepower, 30% more horsepower, if not more than that. But I mean, on the streets, it's going to probably feel the same. You know, obviously on long pulls on the freeway and stuff, it's going to be a lot quicker. But you know, day-to-day driving, it's not going to be a huge difference. So I think, to me personally, if you're considering getting into the Challengers and you can afford, you know, whether that's a SXT, you know, the GT, the RT, or the Scat Pack, if that's kind of your, you know, cross-shopping all those, I think the Scat Pack is definitely the best option, especially if you're cross-shopping between an RT and a Scat Pack. I think if you go for the RT, you may regret not going for the Scat Pack because it's not a huge, you know, jump in terms of price, maybe a couple thousand, especially depending on if you find a used one that's in the right price range. But in terms of enjoyment, you're definitely going to, I think, enjoy it a little bit more if you go for a Scat Pack, just because you have essentially the biggest engine in their lineup. Aside, I mean, the Hellcat, in displacement-wise, it's actually smaller. So, you know, the Scat Pack is the biggest displacement engine. You're going to love it. I took mine up to 170 as soon as I hit 500 miles on the way to work one morning. Wow. You must not have too much highway patrol. That's awesome. Yeah, the fastest I took mine, I think, was 154, 159 out on the salt flats last year, and I made a video about that. That was the fastest I'd ever gone. I can't imagine 170. That's amazing. I think they're the coolest cars in the world. They are, and I completely agree. That's why when I'm looking at next cars for the channel, I'm not really looking at a replacement for a Challenge or a Dodge product. I'm looking at a Hellcat or something similar to that. I'm not looking at like a totally different brand. It's just they make really cool cars, and to be honest, their marketing is on point. I don't know if you guys saw the last video they made with like the Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby kind of throwback with the little kids driving. I mean, no other manufacturer does that, and Dodge just goes above and beyond. It's just, I don't know, it's a cool brand. It's awesome, and the community that it builds is, in my opinion, much friendlier and more open than all the other competitors. Yeah, I get on I-465 to go to work. It's like a super speedway, no traffic or cops. Man, I got to get out there. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see how fast I could get it safely. And the salt flats are great, but there's definitely some bumps here and there. I mean, it's nature. It's not a paved road. And so when you're getting into high speeds, it's scary. I mean, people die, I want to say, every single year on the salt flats when they do some races out there. It's scary. So I think a highway, open road with no, nobody in the way, so nobody gets hurt if speeds exceed a certain limit. I think that would be awesome. One day maybe on an open road. I think Montana, I heard, doesn't have any speed limits. Maybe up there. Hey man, for a new buyer, what features should I be looking for? Are you talking about Challenger or just in general any new cars? I mean, I'm happy to touch on anything, but if I was, I made a video about this a few months ago, the 6 things you should consider before buying a Challenger Scat Pack. Oh, okay, you were thinking about Scat Pack. Okay, I definitely recommend watching that video. It's got my ugly face on the thumbnail. You're not going to miss it, but I would recommend you definitely get blind spot monitoring. I know that a lot of people say, hey, you don't need it, right? If you know how to drive a big car, you know how to do it. But at the end of the day, it's just, to be honest, I never had it before this car. And once I got it, now I want every car to have it. It's just a really nice feature, especially because that rear, is it that B-pillar? I think that's what it's called. That B-pillar is gigantic. I mean, you can hide a full-size car in that B-pillar when you're looking out the passenger side. And so blind spot monitoring just adds that extra, peace of mind when you're merging onto traffic. I definitely recommend getting that. I don't necessarily recommend getting the adaptive cruise control. I have that on my car, but I think that's part of the technology group, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't really care for that feature. I actually shut off the sensor that tells me if I'm about to crash into a car, mainly because it would alert me at like random times and just scare the crap out of me. So I've turned that feature off. Let's see, if you can get like a leather package or a suede package, that'd be cool, just because, if you're paying 45, 50 grand for this car, personally, I think it's, at that price point, you should have leather, even though it is a little bit more expensive. Cloth seats are nice, but I think at that price point, you'd probably want a little bit more. I'm trying to think what other features come with the car. I think that's the main ones. I wouldn't personally get any of the decals that they offer on their website, just because I don't think it's worth it. You can probably go to a wrap shop or somewhere, or auto body shop, and they could do it for cheaper than Dodge sells it to you for. So, I think the cars come pretty well equipped as is. I just think blind spot monitoring would be really nice. And then, yeah, check out that video if you're interested about some other stuff to consider. I think I could top it out on the straight right before my work exit. Wow. So, I mean, you could probably get to, Scotty, you could probably get to work in like 5 minutes if you're topping out at 188 or something that the car goes. That'd be crazy, man. I can't imagine hitting that speed. I've never hit that speed before in a car. So the fastest I went was in this one, was like 154 or 160. The collision avoidance went off in the demo car on my test drive, and it did scare the crap out of me. Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's super loud, and it's like this giant exclamation point or this red light. And I finally found a way to shut it off. It's just annoying. And I have it on my RAV as well. It actually comes standard on all like 2018 and above RAV4s. On that car, it's a much better system. I don't really feel it at all. I mean, it's unless I'm really, really close to crashing into a car, which sometimes has happened when I'm like merging and I'm trying to merge into a different lane, it's gone off. But it's much less sensitive than on the Challenger. On the Challenger, I was going uphill in a parking garage, and it said I was going to crash into something. So it's just a little bit too sensitive of a system, so I just don't use it. Scotty James, you said 15 minutes probably to get to work. Yeah, so at top speed, you think it'd be a little bit quicker than that. So you said 170 was smooth as F. I'm not going to swear because that might shut off this video. I don't know how YouTube monitors it, but yeah, I mean, at 150, it was pretty smooth. Granted, I was on salt, so it's not going to be a flat surface. So 30 minutes at speed limit. Yeah, that's 15 minutes would be cut off if you're going 180. That's crazy speeds. Hopefully you don't get pulled over, man. Be careful, because then the cops will take your license. That would suck. Overkill. I wanted to kind of address your question more. I'm going to go to the Dodge website actually right now, and I want to see what features are good to build for the car. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at Challenger, and let me go through and look at the features that I would recommend that you get. So if you're looking at a Scat pack, I like the shaker feature, the shaker package. If that's something you're interested in, I definitely recommend it. But if you're not looking at a shaker, that's totally fine. That is a package you can get. So I'm looking through all their options. They have a lot of graphics and stuff, and I wouldn't get those. The hood pins, by the way, I wouldn't get those. I'd probably install them myself if you have the guts to do it. Those cost $425 according to Dodge, but I was able to get them for like 180 or something off of eBay. I think I put the link in the video I did when I did the hood pins. I personally wouldn't update any of the wheels because you can always get those later and they're going to look better. I wouldn't upgrade the tires again because I think you can do that yourself later. The SRT performance spoiler is pretty nice. I like how it looks. I don't think it's worth $1,000, so I probably wouldn't get that either. And when it comes to the interior, like I said, it'd be nice if you can get some leather or some sort of suede. And then I have the Alpine audio group on my car, and it works fantastic. You can upgrade to the Harman Kardon sound system. I had a Harman Kardon on my previous car, my Mercedes, and it was a fantastic audio system. But the Alpine has been pretty good. The sunroof is really up to you. I don't know if you need it. I have the sunroof on my car. I probably use it like 1 week out of the entire year, so that's something you can look into if you use it. And then other than that, man, I don't know if I would get much else aside from the blind spot monitoring. All the other options that they offer are kind of up to you. But blind spot monitoring is one I would definitely go with. And then if you want to go with a manual or an automatic. So usually just do about 100 to 120. Man, I wish I could do that, Scotty. I know you're logging out. It was good seeing you, man. You go put the dogs out, but 80 is the max that we go on our freeways. Some people speed, but their highway patrol is right on you if you do. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, man. I'll talk to you next time. And then Overkill, you were saying I was looking at the shaker, but I'm trying to get the Scat, then move up to the Demon, and naturally I want remote start. Yeah, so in that case, if you're getting the Scat Pack and you want the shaker, you're not going to be disappointed. It's definitely worth however much they charge for it. It actually does shake. It does look really cool, and it's just that much more unique when you're taking it to auto car shows and stuff. And especially because you pop up in the hood and there's a hole in the middle. It's just really cool. And then I would say if you want the remote start, you got to go for the automatic, like I'm sure what you're saying. And that's an awesome feature. So I would get that. I'd get the driver convenience group, which is the blind spot monitoring, and get the shaker package. That's pretty much it. Adam Cunningham, Dynamics package, wide body, 1320 shaker, 28 are the only options really worth getting. The wide body is another one. Yeah, that's for sure. If you're interested in, if you have the money for that extra, I think it's $6,000, then definitely do it. I think the other options are great for the company, but not necessarily great for you and your pocket, because you can probably get a lot of those done just by yourself or at some auto shop. So hopefully that helps, man. And thanks, Adam, for tuning in and commenting, because I'm sure that helps out everybody who's watching. I'm probably going to wrap this video up. It's actually gone a little bit longer than I thought, because we were almost done at the 40-minute mark, and then some people had some questions, which I'm more than happy to answer. That's why I wanted to continue and have people ask questions, because that's what makes it fun, and that's why I want to interact with you guys. So otherwise, I'm probably going to call it a day, go eat some dinner. It's probably 10 o'clock for some of you guys. It's 7 o'clock for some of you as well. So 8 o'clock here, so I'm going to go get some grub and probably start editing the Mopar Cruise video if I have a chance. And hopefully I'll have that up by Friday. That's my goal, but we'll see what happens. But thank you all for tuning in. I already did this outro earlier, but stay schwazy, my friends. And I'll catch you all next time. Thanks so much. And thank you, Overkill. Thanks for answering, bro. Keep making vids. I really enjoy them. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate that. I really appreciate all you guys out there that are commenting. I love talking with you guys. So, maybe we'll do these live streams more often. So take care. Have a good night. Like I said, stay safe. And, hey, keep the Mopar content coming, right? Keep buying the new cars and send me those pics on Instagram if you can. So take care. Have a good night.